So we here with Tandler guitars. Jörg Tandler eating a sandwich. Let's have the guy have some of his time off, eat a sandwich. We're just gonna ask him to say hi, and then he can fuck off. Hi, Jörg.
Hello. Thank you.
In German. So, yeah, you eat your thing. I'll sell you guitars. So, if you don't know, Tandler are some of the finest instruments on the market. They are. Issue number 1. He builds them at the pace that he wants to build them at, and he rather goes fishing than building the guitars. So just know that if you can't grab one actually ready to buy, which you can find if you're lucky, you might have to fucking wait a bit, but that's fine because it's worth it. So this thing is clearly some kind of old Strat. But he does employ little tweaks that are not based on like the old kind of building. It's not super vintage style building, especially on the single cuts. There's carbon things and other things that are carbon rods. So they might look traditional, but it's an evolution of how they were built in order to achieve the sound of those times back then, to actually really get a super authentic, old style sound. So yeah, this looks like any old fucking Strat, but the thing on the headstock says Tandler, which means you fucking want it. Don't know how much it is. Not cheap. Well, how much is not cheap?
They have become expensive nowadays because of the inflation. It's a guitar like this with Thomann pickups in an aged version is about 4,700 euros now.
Higher up there for, a bolt-on, Michael bolt-on Strat, but other companies want that too. If you're buying a Mac Mull or you're buying up there in the sewer or whatever, that's what you pay. So let's talk about this. We should be very mad at him because he just decadently gave people that like the nice tops a big ass finger. Because what he did here is picked, I think he told me yesterday, a 500 euro Mega Flame. Okay? Didn't really stain it and work out the flame nicely to be super contrasty, and just went over it with a subtle gold top, transparent, and just said, you want flame? Fine, but I'm gonna goldify it. He just loves to be an ass like that. Then gave it one pickup. Who makes the hardware? Because it's got like gold saddles and stuff. That looks kind of cool.
It's actually a Goto bridge.
Goto bridge?
Yeah, and it's rattle-free. I just use that on this guitar because this maple top is a red maple, means soft maple. And the Goto hardware is metrical. The bolts are thicker than with US hardware. I don't want the bolts to come loose in that soft...
So you got more grip.
Yeah, right, yeah.
This is the kind of shit he has to think about. Now this guitar has what I love. Oh, it's actually rather light. And... the soft maple, okay.
Got about 800 grams less weight than with a real hard maple top. It's just
that much difference. Holy fuck. But look at the neck, because he didn't paint it. It is mahogany, obviously, but stained, right?
just oil wax finish.
Obviously, we've got bone nut, volute. I have to say, I absolutely fucking love the Tandler headstock because it's nice, small, subtle, but there's more to it. It actually has straight string pull, which is what you want for tuning stability on all of that. So there is a point to it. Jörg does think in the evolution of the guitar while still trying to have all the traditional values. This thing he built for himself. I remember when he tested it in the band that he plays in. I'm sorry. It's just wrong in so... Oh, God. That's just wrong in so many ways with the... And it just... It's your personal guitar, right? Someone would buy it, but I mean, it might be tough to sell that. I don't know. That's just...
I could have sold it today.
Really?
But I don't. I mean, this is actually Dean guitar design. Mm-hmm. I always loved it in the 70s or 80s. In the 80s, I think the guitarist of the band Kansas played one of those. Mm-hmm. They're called Cadillac at Dean guitars.
And you just built that for yourself?
I built that for myself, but I tweaked it a little. It's much thicker.
It's fucking thick.
The original Dean guitar is just similar to an Explorer or Flying V, just 38 millimeters thick. This one is 50 and it's quite heavy.
Yes, it is.
And it sounds like a Les Paul.
Well, obviously. And then we got two, let's call them Les Pauls. Painted neck, open neck, aged. That's why it's got an open neck right here. Can you grab that? So this is open. And the whole guitar is, I would call it lightly aged, not hardcore. It's got some dings and dongs. I have to say...
Almost 20 years old, by the way.
Really? I have to say, I absolutely love this, but...
I mostly borrowed those guitars because...
because you go fishing way too much.
No, but I have the Spätbucher-Rabatt.
So he booked the show too late, and then he literally didn't have anything prepared. And then this one is what you would get if you're going all brand new, no aged. Now, again, if you're looking for a traditional single cut, traditional in the looks, not in the building material, building construction way, there's no doubt that a Tandler is the shit. I've played them, and they are the shit. Other companies also build the shit, but he most certainly does. However, wait times are there. But if you want the shit, Jörg's your guy. Jörg, what's the pricing? You don't know, because this is 20 years old, so there's this is also borrowed?
Yeah, it's 4 years old.
So how much would one pay if one could buy one of your guitars?
Currently, they start at 6,500 euros, those beauties.
Start. So yep.
Sure, yeah. If you want a flame tart maple top, it's a bit more expensive, and other fancy stuff is my original 50s style hot lacquer nitro cellulose, which isn't or is out of production since the early 1990s. I've got old stock of that shit, and you have to pay extra money for that if you want that.
So it'll go up there, yeah. But you will be rewarded with a pretty fantastic guitar. Are you going to buy one? Probably not. If you're in the market for Harley Bentons, then no. If you're in the market for the shit, Jörg will do the shit. He will take his fucking time. You know I gotta call you out on that. Why am I saying that? You know why? You know why? No? Huh? Not fishing? No?
No, I'm getting older, and I'm not lazy, but everything goes harder and harder. Every physical move you make when you're getting that old like me, you know.
Well, you also can't kill yourself. I totally get it. You know, life needs to be worth living. I totally get this. So, I'm going to link to Tandler below, as freaking always. And thanks, Jörg. Thanks for the amazing instruments. Thanks, I got to do this again. Thanks to the Reverend Laird Michiel Posnier, former mayor of Hell, PDF Scrum Master Holder. No? Not? It's good? Okay. So, and animals at the end.